You own a business and you're using a CRM powered by HighLevel, or you're already an existing M-Suite CRM powered by Make You Growth client. I want to welcome you, and today you're in the exact right place to learn how to send an email to your contacts. I'm going to show you two primary ways you can go about that. And of course, we are in our YouTube demo account, so you won't see a whole lot of activity on the dashboard, but that's okay because we're going to go straight over to the left-hand side main column, and we've got our contacts. So let's go ahead and click into our contact. Just in our last video on creating and managing contacts, we created Gary Test. So we'll go ahead and select that contact here for this demonstration as well. You're going to be able to see here we've got all the information we put in previously, all of the activity and notes that we went ahead and secured along with our tasks. That's all still here. Now, what we're really going to focus on in this case, though, is sending an email. So first thing I want to draw your attention to, as a quick reminder, anytime we open a contact, on the left-hand side, we're going to see first name, last name, and email is the third. We see here is the email we've chosen to be the default email. We did that at our setup. We can also change that, but we did it at our setup. And then a +1, which shows us that there is, in this case, a second email assigned to this contact. Now, if we want to change that information, we can hit the pencil here. Now, we won't go into that in this instance because there's another place we can choose which email to send to. And that's going to be right down the center line, hover over the grayed out email. It's going to turn blue, and we are going to click there. Now, here it's going to go ahead and open up email. And once that's open, we can see the contact, who we're sending it from. So in this case, I'm sending it from myself. We're going to send this one from our support email. You can manually change that. You can also select from a drop-down if you've got multiple emails set up in your profile or your account. And then here we've got the to account. And if we click the down arrow, we pick, do we want the primary or the secondary? Now, I don't want to create an infinite loop, so we're going to send it to our primary. From here, we can also CC, carbon copy, if you want to add additional recipients, or we can BCC, or blind carbon copy, if you want additional recipients, but for the recipients to not see one another, just like any other email system would be. Now, here for the subject line, we do Hi Test, right? Welcome to Make You Grow, or to M-Suite, powered by Make You Grow. So that's going to be our subject line. Obviously, you're going to customize that for whatever you'd like it to be. And then we just keep clicking right on down, and now we're into the body of the message. So we can do hi, and then typically we would do just their name. Because we're in the just contact itself, I know we're sending it to Gary, so I'm just going to go ahead and type in the name. We'll show you in our next place to send an email how we can make that more template-based, so you don't have to type the name each and every time. But let's go ahead and just send a real simple welcome. Welcome to our company. We look forward to serving you. And then obviously our spell checks and things of that nature are all going to still occur. So that's fantastic. And then here we'll just do a simple sign off. Best Gary, CEO, right? So, or actually let's do president. Right, perfect. So that is our information. Now, other things we may want to include in this email is if we want to have some formatting, bolds, underlines, italics, that's all here. If we want to insert a snippet, these are presets. We'll talk on snippets in a later video. If we'd like to add a link, so maybe here, I want to add a link. So we're going to put in a web address. In this case, we'll just do the main address. Link text. Now, if we had highlighted some text, I'll show that next. This would pre-populate, but here, we'll do click here. And then do we want it to open in the same window or a new window? And that's essentially, do you want a new tab or not within your system? I want it to open in a new window. Now, the other place here is, let's say, serving you. I want to highlight that. I'm going to click this link again. Now that link text is grayed out because it's defaulted to the information in the email. Again, we're going to give it a URL. So this is going to go to our web address. And that's how we go ahead and do that. And let's do new window again for that one. So perfect. Now there's two different places. Then go ahead and engage with this email. Now you can add images, right? If we want to go ahead and add something, we can pull in either URL or we can upload from what we've previously saved. We can attach other files, PDFs, Excel documents, whatever you would need to, zips even. We can insert emojis. Let's say here, we want to go ahead and make this message just really kind of silly and informal. Let's do, I think we can find a wave here. Let's see. We can also search. Cool. Let's do a little peace sign. Go ahead and add that emoji in there. We can also request payments. So if we've got payments that we need to request, and then under more, there's all sorts of other information we can put in here, from payment links to estimates. We can link to invoices. We can do all sorts of things here. That gets a lot deeper. We'll stay out of that for now. And then, of course, we would just go ahead and hit send. So now, excellent. So with that, we went ahead and sent that email. So let's go to the other place. We're going to go back to our dashboard just because that's our typical starting point. And in this case, we're going to come down that left-hand navigation tree and we're going to go to marketing. Now for marketing, we have Social Planner, which we'll talk at a later date. On the top though, we can see there's emails. Let's go ahead and select that. Once emails is blue, you know that you're now into the correct spot. Now here, we've got some sample information, but we're going to go ahead and click off of statistics into campaigns. We're doing email campaign. And here we can hit create campaign. So in this instance, we would be creating a campaign rather than sending a specific email. We'll do blank for our template here, and we'll do design editor. I find that that's just the easiest one. I encourage you to go through there. Now, this is going to be overkill. We do not need to send an email from a campaign to one person. But what's really nice about this is maybe we want to send a welcome email to all new people. And in that case, then, we do actually want this to be done. So we can do welcome. And then let's go ahead on the left-hand side here on the plus, it's going to say add elements, and then you can select from any number of options here. So let's go ahead and bring in some text. So I'm going to drag that where I want it to be. I'm going to do hi, and then this is where it gets really cool. So on the top, we see our typical editing options, right? Bold, italic, which fonts, size you want to use. If you keep going down to the right, there's custom values. When you click there, we can now do, in this case, we'll do contact, and we'll do first name. And then we'll go ahead and put our comma like we would, right? So welcome to MSuite powered by NICU Growth. So we'll keep this one really, really short here. But now this is templated. So every single time that this email is sent, based on our selections on who to send it to, it's going to automatically pull in and populate their first name. So we don't have to do that each and every time. Now this is an extraordinarily simple email, probably not sufficient. We would want to add footers, our logo, maybe an action button, an image. And you know what? Let's go ahead and put in a button here. So this is our welcome. So when we click the button, we're going to be able to edit what the text of the button is. So let's say get started. And then we maybe want to send them to a URL. And then in this case, you would send them likely to your login page, right? Rather than just your home page. That's going to help them say, welcome, you're confirmed. Go ahead and get started here. It could be finish setting up. It could be claim your prize, claim your offer, download your resources, whatever you need to, we can put that here. Now, the other cool thing in this place is you can view it from a desktop view and a mobile view. In this instance, not going to make a whole lot of difference. as you make more complex emails. Very, very critical. So we can go ahead up to our top right. We're going to hit send or schedule. This is now where we are going to select where do we want to send it to, when, and what's the more detailed information. So the from email, we can use this from our defaults, or we can manually put something. So here we'll do support@msuitecrm.io. Of course, we would need to verify this address. We can do the sender name. So again, either your defaults, or in this case, we can say it's from the welcome team. We may say it's from an individual, right? Subject line. Again, this is where we are putting in our subject, just like any other email. And we can even do welcome and hit this tag looking symbol, and we can do a first name. So first name, so in this case, our test send is going to be to Gary. So this will now say, Gary, welcome to MSuite. Right? So now we've customized the subject line in addition to the email body itself. Preview text, so this is what it would show when it would load. Open now to complete your sign up and gain access, right? So that's then what it will show prior to them opening the email itself. And then to recipient. So here we can choose contacts just by clicking the plus here. So we'll select Gary Text. So if you're sending it to maybe a handful of clients and you know exactly who you want to send it to, you can use this tool. You can also send it to smart lists. So leads, customers, you can set up additional smart lists. Tags, maybe I want to send this to all hot leads, all cold leads, all appointment no-shows. We can send some of that. You can pre-build segments, or you can build a segment. And what these two tools are really good for would be, for example, a newsletter, right? So that segment then tied into maybe you've got segmented out lists for newsletters or different product lines maybe that you offer. Now down below, I'm going to move me out of the way. There's going to be some options here for tracking clicks. UTM, if you're using more advanced campaign and link tracking, you can add particular tags based on if they engage with the campaign in some way, and then you can resend it if they don't open it based on a typical time period. So since this is a welcome email, let's wait 12 hours. I think that's fine. And then we're going to resend it and say, don't forget to complete your sign up. And then again, we'll hit the tag. We'll select contact first name. And add our exclamation point. So if this email isn't opened by our contact once we send it in 12 hours from now, the system will automatically send it to them. And in this case, we've chosen that the subject line will change and say, don't forget to complete your sign up, and then their first name. The preview text will still be open now to complete your sign up and gain access, which I think is relevant here. And then from there, the email itself doesn't change. Now we probably want to track links. I encourage you. We want to go ahead and select that so we have more data. And we may want to add a tag, and we're going to add a condition. So type, let's do click the link. It's going to be this link, which is the one we set up for our action button. And then here, we would probably put, let's say that they're going to book an appointment from there. We may also create a different tag that is more specific here that says, onboarded, started onboarding, things of that nature. But we can go ahead and hit save here. So now we can see we've got who it's going to go to. We've got what our message contains. We've got what happens if they don't open it. We also can just uncheck this, and then we don't have to worry about that component. And we have automatic tags. Again, if you want tags based on conditions, you can set those. If you're not worried about it, then we can leave this unchecked. And then in here, we're going to hit review and send. Of course, we're going to get an error because our sender info is not verified. If you get that, it means your email services are not properly set up, which is the case here. So watch our next video. We're going to show you exactly how to do just that. Hope you have an amazing, incredible rest of your day.